Hey guys, and welcome to another Sonic Academy tech tip with me, Phil Johnston. So I've had a few requests about how to create a throaty sort of bass sound. So I'm going to take you through a couple of techniques that I use to get that sort of vibe. So I'll tell you what I've got here already. It's just an init patch with a bit of a pattern in there and a little loop. What I'm going to actually do while I'm here is I'm just going to throw Fab Filter Limiter over this because things can tend to get a bit noisy. So we'll try and stop from blowing up anyone's speakers. So the first thing we want to do is this is a technique using a bandpass filter into some distortion. This sort of gets you part of the way, and then there's other techniques to get you even closer to sort of super throat. So we're using a saw wave, and then we're going to go into a bandpass filter. Now it does matter what type of filter these are, because you're looking for a filter with a sort of, it's hard to describe, a sort of gluey sort of sound. Listen to that, it's sort of got a sticky quality to it. It's hard to pinpoint what that is, but if we go into one of our other ones, they just don't have that same sort of quality. So have a play about with different filters in your synth and see if you can find one that has that sort of stickier quality. And then what we want to do is add some distortion. So again, I'm going to use a filter for this because this gives me the benefit of being able to bypass the filters altogether if I wanted to add a sub later on. So we might do that at some point. So the Xana 2's a low pass and distortion filter. So the cutoff controls a low pass filter and the resonance controls distortion. You can already hear that sort of sticky, sort of comb filtered, throaty sound coming into play. And we can play with it, the resonance even more. And there's other things you can do to mess with the resonance on certain filters. Some respond to input level. You can hear this one. As the input level goes down, the filter gets more resonant. And as it goes up, it gets less resonant and sort of more saturated. So just bear that in mind when you're looking for this sound. So all we're really looking for with this first section of the thing is that sort of squelchy sound. I'm going to turn this up a bit. We've got our drive on and our distortion on. That gives us extra. There we are, starting to get that nice throaty sound. We can also then play with the pulse width. Here, as we bring that up, it sort of adds to that. And I'll actually just add the retrig on there and give it an extra voice, and we'll get a bit of width. And then earlier I was talking about adding a sub, so we can do that. Just go for a triangle. Now currently this triangle sub is going direct into filter 1 and then into filter 2. So we can bypass that. We can either go into filter 2 directly, which will sometimes work. Or we can bypass it all together and it'll go bypass the filter and straight into our effects section. That just gives us a clean sub. Okay, so we've sort of exhausted that using a saw wave and the bandpass. We can mix it up with some other filters. Another filter that's good for this is the all pass filter. Sort of, again, it's like a comb style thing. Resonance controls the spike of the peaks, and the cutoff will move those peaks around. So with the all pass 20 poles, you've got sort of 20 peaks. Again, that gives you another sort of throaty sound. And then the next thing we can do, just to get a bit closer or a bit more throaty, is we have various different initial wave shapes. So we've got our kick ones. You can hear the difference between saw and kick. And I have one I created in Node. If you haven't checked out Node yet, it's only like a tenner, and you can create your own wave shapes for Anna. Check that out on our website, and we can use, here's one I created earlier. So this was so you can hear there's a whole range of sort of sounds you can get in that sort of vibe, depending on what you're doing. There's a bit of a morph on this as well. A few other things we can do if we want to add a bit more interest to this. We can use a bit of filter envelope. We could even add the morph to our filter envelope as well. We can adjust in our modulation matrix how much that is happening. And if we wanted even more aggressive, we can add a bit more distortion. Go into our wave shaper for this type of thing. I kind of like the fold over. It seems to preserve peaks and sort of transients better. And we only want to affect really the high end, so then we can use our dry wet to mix that in. And finally we can add a bit of EQ, bump up the bass. And we will add a bit of sidekick in here. Maybe a bit of delay. Even in another sub, maybe a square sub this time. So there we go. There's a few different techniques to help you get those sort of throaty, distorted sounds. If you have any questions, give me a shout on our forums or on our Facebook group. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.